day. You're welcome to today's episode of Close to Your Heart. As usual, I am ABIOLA VERA CRUZ. We'll be continuing with BEDMATICS 101, just like I said at the last session. BEDMATICS 101 is not a topic we can exhaust on a single show. So this is the second episode of BEDMATICS 101, and continuing from previous week's discussion, we'll be looking at dressing as part of the preliminaries to lovemaking within the confines of marriage. I've discovered that a number of couples, especially Christian couples, approach sex shabbily. They don't care about their dressing, they don't care about their appearance and how they look. All they just understand is sex. Okay, he or she demands and I give my body and we are good to go. Once that is done, I get up and go. No. This is a singular reason why a number of couples are complaining about dissatisfaction with sex. A number of them don't find that satisfaction. A number of them don't find that enjoyment that comes with lovemaking. A number of them just approach it like, okay, just let's do it since it is what is demanded of me as a wife or as a husband, and I'm done with it. Sex, like I said, is meant to be enjoyed. And your dressing, your appearance go a long way to appeal to your spouse. Come to think of it, a number of couples, our spouses, they go out there, they work on a daily basis, and they see a lot of things. But it will be great and amazing for them to come back home, and know that, yes, I have a woman, I have a man in whom I find pleasure, in whom I find more than those things I'm seeing out there. So, my dear sisters, my dear brothers, how do you dress? At night, how do you go to bed? Oh, you go with your pleated skirt on, you go with your shirt, Nah. Some wears are deliberately, intentionally, consciously designed for this purpose of BEDMATICS. How many of such do you have? Do you even put them on? Do you even buy them? Or you're thinking, it's a sin. How can I be wearing bump shorts? How can I be wearing boxers? I don't want to make it seem as if, I was once loose, or they will start, my husband or my wife will start thinking, she's a prostitute. Or, excuse me, we are talking about your man here. We're talking about your wife. The two of you are supposed to find pleasure in each other. So, there is no sin in you getting such wares for the purpose of BEDMATICS. It's just like a farmer going to farm, does not have cutlass, or even has the means to buy a tractor, and it's like, I don't want to be seen as why am I buying tractor? No, you're married, for crying out loud. You have a man, legally married, godly marriage. You have a woman. So, there is no length you go to please him or her that is too much or that is sinful. So, go get those wares to spice up this aspect of your marriage. Now, one funny thing I've come to discover is a number of couples have been indoctrinated or have been made to think sex can only be engaged in the night, in the room where there is no light, Excuse me? No. We've gone beyond that. Sex between husband and wife can be enjoyed at any time of the day, anywhere, but not within the glare of the public. No. In the sitting room, in the kitchen, for those living in their own apartment or a private apartment, in the bathroom, just name it. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the night, Even before going to work in the morning, in the early hours of the morning, before going to church, it's not a sin to have a quickie. Did I just say quickie? It's not a sin. Or you're thinking, so that I can minister effectively on the pulpit, I don't want to contaminate myself. And your wife is like, your wife really needs it, or your husband really needs it, and you're like, no, I don't want to. I want my body's. Excuse me. You can, as in you can engage in it in the early hours of Sunday morning. And trust me, even the ministration of that morning, it will be on another level. Because why? You are kind of lifted, not only spiritually, but also sexually and emotionally. There is power in sex. And really, it's my desire to see couples harness that power to their advantage. Honestly. You've eaten, you just finished eating a food and you're like, oh, thank you, Jesus, for this food. The same thing can also be said for sex. You just had a great sex and you're like, oh, thank God for sex. It's amazing, honestly. It's amazing. So, maybe even as a lady, you don't know how to initiate sex, You're like, how do I tell my husband? Should I just tell him, I want to do? Auntie, you want to do what? No, just tell me, you want to do what? Your dressing can even do the communication for you. By the time you dress, you have that beautiful scent cologne applied, and no, the man can't just resist it. A number of men don't even want to approach their wife because her appearance is shabby. So that alone repels them. The same thing goes for the men too. You just finished coming out from under the sun, you are sweaty, everywhere is smelling, and you don't know you're supposed to go take a shower first. Even when you want to take the shower, you drag your spouse, okay, together we go do the shower. That said, how about you preparing the mind of your spouse, even in the day before the very act, by sending a very great erotic message that he or she will start anticipating, looking forward to coming home. Until I come your way again, do spark up the sexual life of your marriages. Thank you and God bless you.